What kind of questions do you get normally, Nizhyar, when you're getting feedback from agents or agents are calling? Like, what are some of the most commonly, frequently asked questions?
One of the things we always get, first off is availability, right? And how we run availability based off other vendors, right? So when it comes to, like, for example, mortgage protection, we look at availability in multiple ways, right? So one of the questions I want to do an order in Dallas, right? For example. We look at availability by county, specific levels. We do lockouts. So if an area is getting X amount of data and we have an agent that buys weekly data, that area is all locked out for that particular agent. And then another question we get, well, do you resell leads? We have never resold a lead. It doesn't matter if it's 6 months old or 6 years old. We've never resold a lead. That lead is yours. You've earned that lead. You decide to do what you want with it.
Hey, welcome back to the CA Power Players podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins. Today, I got a couple of freaking genius guests, by the way. Okay, you're going to love the episode we got for you today. We have Eric, Yarbrough, and Nizhyar Dosky from Nashville Financial. Eric is the nerd that is behind the scenes that literally worked at the factory with Elon Musk, okay, if I can say that. And then Nizhyar is the customer first facing, lead and marketing guy that helps clients. Gentlemen, welcome to the podcast today.
Thank you, Cody. We're excited to be on.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you.
I love it, man. So Eric, it's not offensive when you're like freaking a brilliant to call you a nerd, I guess, right?
The nerd thing pays off. You got to ride it out a while. The first years are kind of rough. You can't get a date. Nobody asks you out anywhere. But in the later years, but the good news is my knees are great. My hips are great. My back's good.
That's
right. Play any sports, so
I love it.
There's advantages. You got to ride it out.
I love that. Would you consider Elon a nerd?
He's definitely an intellectual. And he's got a lot of nerd capabilities. And he started his whole career really through innovation design, and it's really a key tenet of what he does and how he does it. So I would say yes, he is, but he's a different type of nerd. I can say that.
For real. Yes, it's incredible. Well, I know you got a wild story. I would love to hear your story. Then we'll throw it over to Nizhyar in a few minutes and talk through some of the lead things you got going on in that world.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so I started out in Georgia and went to Georgia Tech. That's where all the nerds go when they graduate. That's Nirvana. And went there for undergraduate engineering. Later on, got my MBA out of Vanderbilt and started doing engineering things, writing software, running IT, running engineering, creating patents and things like that. And then, eventually a guy knocked me in the head. He said, hey, companies do two things. We make things and sell things. You should get in one of those two groups. So I ended up running the factories and found myself pretty good at it. I wrote a lot of software over the time, but also ran a lot of factories, ran Europe for International Paper, ended up working with the CEO there, working with the president of Oldcastle, eventually president of Panasonic, and working with Tesla. I used to work with Yarbrough a lot. He was the president of Tesla. And, got to do some really challenging things. Got to work at a building that would be on the United Nations if it was its own building. I think we received like $4 billion in products into one building and, 350 autonomous vehicles delivering everything in real time. So it was pretty neat to be part of it, especially, kind of the cutting edge of technology, doing some things that a lot of people have never seen before. So really, really love that.
Wild.
Yeah, so eventually I ended up coming out of a 3-year flip to sale. I was kind of working as a consultant, and I had a buddy of mine I'd worked with, and I said, what are you doing now? And he said, I'm selling insurance. And I thought, well, I've never even thought of that. I said, why this? And he goes, well, there's actually a lot of money to be made. This is a good industry. And so he said, you should try it. And so, I threw my hat in and had an agency for a little bit. And then I learned two things. First of all, the most frustrating thing was leads. How in the world am I going to grow
always
if I don't have good leads? And secondly, I'm a little bit better behind the curtain than in front of the customer. So eventually I led to Dosky joining the team and helping me with that whole side. But I still love it and I work it. And that's how I got into the game. I had the same frustrations everybody else had. I wanted to grow my team. I wanted to make more sales. Couldn't get the leads I wanted. And then over time, learned I'm really better at the leads than the agency. So we kind of dropped the agency piece out and just kept on with the leads, and we've done really well with it. But unfortunately had Dosky here to be the front of the company and to run all the sales departments. And and really help us grow tremendously and with good customer service and, taking care of agents out there in the field.
I love it, man. I love that you do that. Dosky, he speaks pretty highly of you, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, I appreciate him a lot, and Eric has done a lot for me as well. So yeah, we've worked at actually multiple companies together and got to this point, and it's great to have a great friendship and partnership, and kind of help grow a company together. So, but yeah, join Nashville Financial and learning exactly what customers are looking for and what makes a good lead, and we've been able to develop that and just kind of grow the business. Has been really awesome.
Yeah. Well, what are agencies? What are clients looking for? In your estimation, what do you think they're looking for?
Well, one of the main things we saw in the beginning when we said how to be a good vendor is just being available. When part of agencies that struggled were agents couldn't get a hold of vendors, or they were not being honest with them and stuff like that. So I am on hundreds of calls a day. I text messages all day long, not just with agency owners, but agents that just started, and explaining kind of how it all works and why use us versus someone else, and maybe why the results are not there today versus what they might have heard their upline was doing 7 months ago, and really just being open with them. So to me, the biggest thing with agencies is helping them grow, is really getting them to understand what challenges a vendor goes through, right? And why that might be some of the challenges to overcome together. But that's what we've seen so far. And then having different lead types. We started off majority as a mortgage protection call-in lead, and did that for the first five years as a company. That's all what we did in the beginning. And then we started looking into everything that's coming up with CRMs and different lead types. So we got heavily involved in that. And today we're happy. We have a mortgage protection call-in lead. We have a final expense telemarketing lead. We also do a digital campaign for final expense, for Medicare supplement, as well as a life lead through our Google lead. So all of that kind of been packaged together, and we also have a CRM that we use to tie all that stuff in together for agents and agency owners.
Yes, I love it, man. Okay, that's really cool. And I know that Eric can speak to the CRM piece a little bit. Why the CRM? What's important about it? What's different about it? And why should agents care?
Yeah, well, I think that I don't like the CRM model that exists today. First of all, I've got a lot of experience with big data and big companies, and I don't think anything that needs to really approach it from the right direction. There's a lot of things I don't like about it. One is the idea is that you're going to pay money for a CRM, and then at some point you're going to get the value back. But you're leading with the first foot, right? So you're putting the money out on the promise of a return. And honestly, a lot of these things, they don't feel like they're done properly to me. Meaning that a lot of people are just hoping you're going to put in your credit card number and you're going to forget about it, and they're going to keep billing you, right? And there's huge churn because people aren't getting the value out of it. And I never liked that model very much. What I liked better was the model that maybe is followed by maybe Yelp or LinkedIn, where you get the value for free. I mean, we go to Yelp all the time. We didn't pay a dime. And we go there because there's a lot of value to it. And we like the product and we like how it's used. Now, can you advertise? Can you do more with that? Of course you can. LinkedIn, you can go for premium services. But you didn't go there because they drew you in and you had to give them a credit card number. You went there because it was a place that added value to. And really, we thought, designing a CRM is expensive on the upfront, but the maintenance isn't that expensive. Why don't we just offer it for free? We'll just make the best platform that's providing the best value, and just let people be on it and be the marketplace. Don't consider it a place where a person goes to put information in and hopefully get the value back out. Make it a marketplace where we connect people, because everybody's in this lead space, right? We have telemarketers, you've got digital marketers, you've got people that send out mail, you've got the process of managing the leads, and they don't connect very well. And that's something we went up to design to build, was say, okay, well, let's put telemarketing people in here. Now, let's say you've got your leads, and we'll let you upload your leads. We'll let you white label it. You can make it look like your own system. We don't want to take the credit for this. It's just your CRM. And when you get in there, you could pivot, you could transfer. You could say, okay, I'm going to take these leads, that I've uploaded, and I'm going to send them off to telemarketers. There's all these capabilities we can build in, and once they're in, they're just in. And we're doing really a lot of innovative work. It really starts with a lot of work we were doing with Tesla and other people, where we were actually using artificial intelligence. We had 10 people with PhDs in data science just working on kind of intelligent design for machinery. But most of the insurance industry, for whatever reason, lags the housing industry. They lag some of the other major, more developed industries in terms of technology. And honestly, and I said it a few times jokingly, but I tell people a lot of these programs I see, I think me and 3 of my drunk college buddies could probably write it over a weekend. There's a lot more that can be done, and we're not keeping up with the pace of time.
Yeah, that's insane. But you're so right. It's so old fashioned. It's so boring. So is it really free?
It's really free. And so, and you go, what's in it for you? Why would you offer it for free? Again, it's the Yelp model. We believe that if we add value and people can come onto our platform, just come on the platform, use it for free. You can get your whole agency. Let's say you've got an agency and you got 100 people in it, right? And you want to connect them together. You don't have to go to 100 people and convince them to give somebody a credit card number on the promise of it, because they're leery of that, right? They're like, you kind of go, well, if you're so good, why do I have to pay you first? Or maybe they offer a free trial, but again, they're taking your credit card number and they're putting all your data in there. But you can go, look, we'll put your agency up on it. You'll have an agency. You can have your agencies under your agencies. You can see visibility all the way down line. Who's buying leads and how many, or how many sales are you making? How's it working? And from that, you can pivot to anything. You can say, well, let's at some point in the future, let's make it so you can do your contracting in it. Let's make it so that you can write your apps in there. We've piped in artificial intelligence into it now. So you can have a conversation with AI chats, and you can say, hey, please explain to my client in French the difference between a term and a whole life, right? And it'll do it in French for you right there on the spot. And so we're just piping all these things into it. And we've really got some pretty innovative stuff we've got already done. And we've got even more innovative things on the way. We have the ability now, for example, you can live check against the DNC before you call somebody. You click a button, goes to the government, comes back, tells you if they're in the DNC or not. You can advance your lead. There's a lot of sources out there for data. Take those old stack of paper leads you got, right? You put them in Excel spreadsheet, upload it, and then you say, hey, find me all the emails that you can find for these things. Or put in on your calendar. You say, hey, I've got to meet with some clients. I've got some appointments. Show me every one of my leads that I haven't been able to get a hold of on a map, on a Google map, and show me where their locations are compared to my appointment. I'm going to do some door knocking while I'm out. So you just keep putting all these things in. And as an agency, you have the ability to make your homepage. You can put widgets in there. You can say, okay, I'm going to put my news on there, and I'm going to put a poll on there like you would LinkedIn or Facebook. I'm going to put a poll up there that says, hey, where do you want to have a company Christmas party? Or what's the number one way we can help you with setting your appointment from a phone call, or whatever you want. And so as we have these features in, it's a one-time programming cost for us, and then once it's in, it gets used multiple times. And, we want to build relationships, and we want to build networking. And, our value proposition is this: come to us, use our platform. And we think that we're going to earn your business. We think that providing a good lead at a better price, you're going to have interest in it. And you can see your orders right there on the CRM. You can see how they're being filled. You can see your leads drop down, and you can upload your own leads, or we can port in other leads. We can do all these things for you, but we just want you on the platform, and then we get to be part of the conversation. And over time, well, there's value to that, but the value is going to be because we earned it, and not because we asked you for the credit card on day one, and then with a promise later. You come in, if we don't earn your business, you can always unplug it.
It's good. Yeah, it's unique. I mean, how would they learn more about that piece, by the way, if we wanted to address that?
Yeah, I mean, you could always call me directly on our Nashville line, or you go to our website, which is nfleads.com, or email me at nashvillefinancial@gmail.com. And then personal cell phone that calls direct, come to me, 615-602-4074. And you call me, Nizhyar Dosky, and I'll try to help you answer all your questions and all the different lead types we have for you.
I love it, man. And what kind of questions do you get normally, Nizhyar, when you're getting feedback from agents, or agents are calling? Like, what are some of the most frequently asked questions?
One of the things we always get, first off is availability, right? And how we run availability based off other vendors, vendors, right? So when it comes to, like, for example, mortgage protection, we look at availability multiple ways, right? So one of the questions we go, well, I want to do an order in Dallas, right? For example, we look at availability by county, specific levels. We do lockouts. So if an area is getting X amount of data and we have an agent that buys weekly data, that area is all locked out for that particular agent. And then another question we get, well, do you resell leads? We have never resold a lead. It doesn't matter if it's 6 months old or 6 years old. We've never resold a lead. That lead is yours. You've earned that lead. You decide to do what you want with it. Another question we get is, well, how is all of this being communicated to me, right? So we do instant text messages, instant emails when leads are developed. You could see it through text message, email, spreadsheets, and CRM. So every agent is different. Some agents, they only use their phone, and they might not ever look at their email, and vice versa. Some agents only like to get on the CRM, and they don't even want to get a text message alert. So it's, how does the technology work? How can I get it to me as fast as possible? That's some of the questions we get the most right now.
It's good, man. I love it. Good. You knew him off the cuff. You answered him well, Eric. Man, you guys know your stuff. You guys are really impressive, man.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
There's such a road to go. Just for example, in AI, AI right now is in its infancy, but it's going to be like the internet is in the future, right? And I really see a future where we're going to be talking to our CRM as much as anything, where you'll go into your CRM and you'll say, tell me about the Williamses that I met with last week, send them an email campaign, and it just does it, right? Where it's more of a conversation than a button pushing exercise. And we're trying to move toward that pretty quickly. I think we've got a pretty good lead in understanding cutting edge technology. And our intention is go as fast as we can. We have a full-time team of programmers who are on nothing but this project, and we're going to go as fast as we can and see where it takes us. But I think it's an exciting future because there's so much to be done, and it's been really kind of archaic. When I first went in the industry, everybody had these big stacks of paper on their desk, right? Mm-hmm. And you thought, well, after you've called that piece of paper a couple of times, where's the value at anymore, right? How do you give that to a new person who might be able to take that lead and try to mine for the lost diamonds in the stack, right? And so we're going to try to make that easy and just connect people. Maybe even if there's a future where you buy the leads, again, they're exclusive leads, and then you want to sell the B leads, right? And there's a marketplace for that all up in there. So we've got a lot of great ideas on the board, and we've got a lot of things already put in. But it's a fun ride. We like helping people. We like being part of this, and we like seeing the future of insurance. And I think it's an amazingly bright future. So
it is, man. Well, dude, thank you both for being on. You guys are awesome, super impressive, and excited to get to know you and spend more time with you. Thanks for being on the podcast.
Thank you very much,
Cody. Appreciate it.
Love it. Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Nizhyar. Nashville Financial. Thanks for being and listening to the CA Power Players podcast, and we'll see you on the next one. Adios.
Awesome.
Hey, if you enjoyed this, I got another one you're going to love. It's right there. Click on it. See you in there.
Hey, welcome back. I'm so excited for today's CA Power Player podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins. We got a special guest. He is back on the channel talking about how to sell life insurance from home. Here's what I love about this person.